of the 5th edition. Join our various gaming groups as we play the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And maybe just hang out and chat about gaming in general. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, assigned to Ragnarok Story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Hey guys, Jim here with Creative Playing Podcast Network, and I'm not alone today for the 30-day Dungeons & Dragons Challenge. Joining me today is...
Kelly!
And Scott.
So today's subject, the 22nd day of the 30-day D&D Challenge, and we are insane for having 10 days of overlap between this and RPG a day. It's insane, but it's great. So today is the 22nd day, which is one that I think everybody's got at least something to say about, their favorite D&D monster.
Oh, you know what I'm going to say.
Until they have to grapple for something that's not what you're going to say.
Okay, you ready? You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to do it in the voice. Help me!
The iconic D&D monster.
And plus, I just love the owlbears because, you know, and because when we first started Journey of the 5th Edition, the first night my character Tilda was on watch, of course. What comes to visit, and I don't see it until right at the last minute, is an owlbear. So all of a sudden, at the top of her lungs, she's yelling, "Owlbear!" in her squeaky little voice. And it's funny because then we kept running into owlbears at different times. So I actually even started drawing an owlbear. His name is Albert the owlbear. Owlbear! Because, like, if you say in French, Albert, Albert. So yeah, I have to say it because come on. And also, if you've seen the baby bestiaries, oh my God, the little baby owlbears are so cute. Oh, come on. And they come in all sorts of different sizes. And it's funny when you compare the, like, owlbear through the D&D ages. I like the latest incarnation of the owlbears.
It's the coolest pictures, just saying.
Yes, they're so. And apparently we're going to be seeing a little bit more of it come March of 2023.
Yep.
I'm excited, even though Jules can't use that shape. But I'm still excited. It is a movie.
I've actually got to pick two, okay? Because for bosses, I like mind flayers.
Oh, those are. But see, technically, are we counting just monsters overall, or are we counting those because those are what the aberrations?
Yeah. So.
Oh.
I mean, we could totally give you a mulligan and let you pick that because they are a monster and they are in the monster manual, but and they are awesome monsters because we did mention them for the Abrams.
We did, yes, we did.
Well, wait a second. I thought owlbears weren't actually monsters either. They were something else.
Nope, they are classified as a monstrosity.
Yep.
Oh, well, I thought there was a difference between a monster and a monstrosity.
Don't think so.
Because I remember there being this like kerfuffle that druids couldn't actually turn into owlbears because they're monstrosities and not monsters.
Yeah,
Not
well,
beasts.
it's not beasts.
There's a difference
Oh,
between
they're
a
not
beast
beasts?
and
Yeah,
a.
beast is
Oh,
what the
okay.
druid shapeshifts into, which is why there's already been the hubbub for the new movie when they see the druid turn into an owlbear.
Right.
That's my thing. It's like, first of all, it is a movie, and it is
Okay.
still a much better. Just from the limited things we've seen in the trailer, it is a much better representation of Dungeons and Dragons than the other movies.
This is true.
Okay. So I'm a couple editions behind, so I don't even know if these count as monsters. But like I was already going to go with two. For big bosses, I like mind flayers. But for just everyday round the corner, I like kobolds.
Kobolds are
Kobolds
cute.
great.
They're cute. They can be
They're-
funny. They can be serious.
Well, in
You know-
certain versions, they're actually playable races.
Right. So, and they're just one of those things where, most of the time, there's a way you can tell if your group's a bunch of murder hobos. Because there's probably, there's a whole bunch of kobolds just, wandering around, trying to scrounge up their next meal, and then there come all of these guys with better equipment and better magic and better everything, and they usually just kill them.
Yep.
Yep.
Even the
Definition of a murder
younglings.
hober.
Even the younglings.
It's like you can teach them the ways of the platinum dragon and turn them into good kobolds. Everyone wants to see a kobold paladin of Bahamut.
Oh my god, that would be so adorable.
Hey, kobold bards is also a good second.
That would be so cute. That would be awesome. I mean, I actually played a kobold in at one of the RingCons. We played, what was it's like a version of D&D, but it comes with a, oh god, what was it?
I know which setting you're talking about. You're talking
Yeah, the
about
setting.
Midgard.
Midgard, yes. And, so we had the pre-generated characters that we were playing for this game at RingCon, and the one that I got was actually, it was two boxing,
Mm-hmm.
but the one of them was a kobold, and unfortunately, they do get a negative to, when they're in daylight, for perception and that type of stuff, because it's hard to see. But if they're inside, then it's fine. So it was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in that game because
Yeah.
we were the only two that showed up for the GM, and we're like, we'll totally two-box. That is
Yeah,
not a
totally
problem.
two box. Mm-hmm. My other character in that was a Minotaur.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because we both played completely distinct two characters to tell them apart.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what one does when you two-box. You have to have completely opposite personas so you can tell them apart yourself.
Exactly. If you can, it's the easy way to keep them disassociate one from the other so that you can keep better track of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a hoot.
And as GMs, kobolds come up as great little monsters because, they can be vicious or they can be comic relief depending on how you want them and need them.
Oh, yeah. I remember one when they tried to put me in a cook pot, basically.
Kobolds ate my baby!
Hey, I mean, there's totally a Pathfinder adventure called that.
Oh my god.
The kobolds stole my baby, and it's an adventure where you play kobolds busting into the city and basically causing havoc. It's the kobold version of the goblin version of the same kind of concept they came up with of this is how we have fun with it. You get to play the baddies.
I like playing the baddies every once in a while.
Mhm.
Although sometimes when you have to do something in character of the baddie, it's like, oh my
Oh.
god, you're making me do this.
That's a direct reference to your drow cleric of Lolth who had to slit the
Yes.
throat of a little elf girl. You were a monster.
No, there were two of them.
Well, you were the one that cut the girl's throats.
Yeah.
You were the monster.
I was. It was terrible. But I was acting
amazing.
in
character.
In character.
See, for me, I will, as the GM in the group, I will throw out one of the favorite monsters of D&D, which along with the owlbear is like total D&D-ish because it's something specifically birthed in the cauldrons of Dungeons & Dragons, the Mimic.
Ah, yeah.
You know, it's a classic thing that when characters run into one, they either want to keep it and make it have babies for them.
Now, are they a monster or are they a like an aberration?
They are a medium monstrosity shape changer class. Yeah.
Ah.
So the Mimic is a creature that basically copies something nearby, something mundane and normal, to try to lure people into touching it.
Okay, so if we're talking about things in monsters specifically invented by D&D, give me the gelatinous cube.
That was my honorary mention. Because there's just something about the gelatinous cube, which is this.
It wiggles and jiggles and.
It's this big 5-foot square of jello that's semi-sentient and sticky. And so many times in encounters when I've used them, there's nothing cooler than having an ever-burning torch in the gelatinous cube, because that's a bronze torch that magically glows. So it is not digested, but it's great to have it walking around with its own light source. Because if it eats a skeleton freshly, the players will see this disembodied floating skeleton shadow coming down the hallway. Let's hope someone rushes down the hallway to attack it.
Oh, and it's funny, Jim actually has this mini, it's a gelatinous cube where you can put it on top of a player mini. Mm-hmm. So if it eats it, it's just sitting inside this gelatinous cube.
Mm-hmm. Oh. The bottom pops out and you can fit a regular mini inside it.
Yeah.
Because, of course, with the cube being a little 10-foot by 10-foot cube, you can put a 5-foot by 5-foot mini in there.
Yep.
And, of course, then they just slowly get melted away. And, you know, you can totally mess up players, too, by dropping a gelatinous cube in a hole. And everybody's like, look, there's just this puddle. Let's swim across it. And then you're like, why is my foot stuck?
A puddle? It's like, it would still look like goo.
Yeah, but the cube fell in the hole. And then water landed on top of it.
Oh.
I like putting them in traps.
Yep.
Okay.
Ceiling drops out, gelatinous cube.
Except for, you guys have picked one of my least favorite monsters because, ew!
So often Kelly makes me, because I usually give during session 0, like, what is one monster you definitely want to come up in the adventure? What is one monster you never want to see? So that way, if you got anyone in the group that's like arachnophobic, they can totally pick one of the hundreds of spiders. Or if they don't want certain worms that do a thing.
Yeah, okay. You're already taking my stuff for tomorrow's thing.
Oh, I am? Oh, okay.
Okay. And this is my honorable mention for tomorrow's.
Oh, we'll save it for that for tomorrow, Missy.
Yeah, so, no, the gelatinous cube was going to be honorary mention.
Ah.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
No, it's great, because it is a great favorite monster. I mean, GMs love it, and players, when they realize what it is, they love it too, because it's cute when you know that there's a cube following you, like a bad horror movie villain, and it's always like 10 turns behind you. So all of your carnage, as it's slowly jiggling and following you, you're just leaving corpses left and right for it, and it's just like becomes a pet almost. I mean, there's in the older editions, there actually is a ooze class. Like, there's a second party D&D book called Anime, Big Eye Little Mouse Anime D&D, and you can totally have a sentient slime that's basically an ooze that evolved. It's totally an anime for those who played, Dragon Warrior back in the day in 8-bit. And you see the little slimes always popping up. You could actually play a little slime. But adventurers basically train the slime to follow them by feeding it. And then eventually it gains sentience.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta clean up all that kobold poop somehow in the dungeon.
That's true.
So that definitely, I think, covers some awesome favorite monsters. I mean, I totally still want the giant mimic that is a sail ship. I'm just saying. That meme was awesome when that was going around for a while there, where a mimic actually grew to big enough size to become a ship. And of course, there's also a cute secondary book on the GM's Guild that basically it's the Mimic Menagerie, where they have baby mimics that are too small to become chests, so they become tiny things like vases and planters and other things. It's adorable.
Yeah.
So you mean it'll go Warner Brothers, the mimic will be like a big black hole in the wall?
Oh. No, that's a magic item in D&D.
Yeah, no, that's like a
The portable black hole.
the portable
Oh,
hole.
yeah. But no. This you like go in and then you're like halfway in and then you see the teeth.
What is this? Tomb of Horrors?
No, it'd be more of the Wile E. Coyote painted road on the wall.
Get a little sign, this way out, and have a monster chasing him on the other side.
Oh, that would be horrible. When Wile E. Coyote does the piles of birdseed, he usually has like the bag of birdseed and then he's piled birdseed. The mimic is the bag of seed.
Oh.
Yes, because mimics can be fun. They can become anything. And there's nothing cooler than stopping your barbarian who always kicks through doors by making a mimic the door. Because as soon as he puts his foot out there and you ask him, do you want that foot back? No, it's stuck. And then the mimic gets pseudopods and starts attacking.
Nom, 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 nom. Too funny.
Never doubt the bite of a mimic. I mean, the only thing really holding them back is the fact that they've got that crappy speed.
There is that.
It's watching a chest with a giant mouth hopping behind you guys that's only going 15 feet per turn when you're running 30 feet.
Well, once you actually know it's a mimic,
it loses its advantage.
Yes, it definitely does.
Otherwise, they'd be a little too OP.
Then you realize the whole dungeon is a mimic. Mind blown.
Just a funnel. That's not a good thought.
That's not slime on the walls.
Ew, it's saliva.
It was so happy you killed that skeleton because that thing's been itching around the back of his throat all day. So make sure you find out what your players' favorite monsters are, and as GMs, make sure your players never know what your favorite monsters are, because they'll be prepared for it always. Which, by the way, that is totally some of the fun back and forth between GMs and players, is when they know you like a certain type of monster, and you always throw it out into an adventure at some point.
Yes, but I appreciate the one, like, if there's a specific type of monster that you just really,
Mm-hmm.
you're not putting it in there because, there's particularly one that, but we'll discuss that later.
That'll totally be a tomorrow thing.
Yes. You know exactly where I'm going.
I know which one, and I know which picture.
Ah,
See, I just say that, and she starts getting the heebie-jeebies. I'm
haunted me
totally
for
going to get yelled
years.
at by her after we finish gaming tonight, because she'll be like, I couldn't sleep while you were gaming. So, any closing monstrosities for you guys?
Nope, I think we did a good job.
Yep. And then we'll be back tomorrow on Sunday to knock out the next D&D challenge and RPG a day.
Mm-hmm.
The RPG a day for tomorrow is very introspective. System Sunday. Which I think is a good one because it'll get people to talk about different systems. Because again, go out, play other systems, play with other monstrosities, find things you like. And you GMs out there, never be afraid to take a monster and use your your Dungeon Master's Guide to add additional effects to them, because that totally keeps your players on their toes.
Oh, and also sometimes actually make them weaker as well.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Customized for if your group of ones, don't send a level 4 at them unless you have a lot of them.
Even if they're a normal group, occasionally you want to take a monster that they'd be really, really tough with, make it weaker than it would normally be, have them blow all of their magic stuff, and then boom, one-shot it.
Have them overcompensate because they know what the average usually is, and this is the sickly one of the family.
Exactly. I mean,
so punish them for min-maxing.
And actually, if you do that before you bring in the maxer, you're telling them that not all monsters are going to be average.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's diabolical.
And it does keep them on their toes. I mean, that way they know that is an average hit dice in the monster manual. That is not a greater than, lesser than. That's just the average. What
exactly.
If
there's a reason why Diabolical has DM in it.
And of course, then there's the whole idea that you set up the false expectation that they think all of their kind go down that easily.
Uh-huh.
Dun dun dun. What do you mean it got back up? Not all monsters are created equal.
No, they are not.
And there's nothing funnier than when you send, you do this big build up to your group and you say, guys, the farmer's hiring you to go after the griffin that keeps taking off with its sheep. And you guys run into this very small, sickly runt of a griffin and they think it's a joke. And they kill it. And then you realize this is just a baby. You killed the young juvenile, and then the adult shadow flies over you. Not only do you get to knock them in the chops, thinking they killed a baby, but 2, you now have a justified mother monster going totally orca on them.
So many people aren't going to get that reference.
No, they're not. But if you get a chance to go see Orca, you'll totally get it. By the way, I'll totally say there's never been an orca attack on a human being on record. So the movie is total hokum.
In the wild, it's not. I mean, they've turned on their trainers.
Well, captivity, I don't count that. That's people being stupid. But in the wild, orcas will play with people and not hurt them. But that's a different kind of monstrosity. The people, not the orcas.
I don't know. The way they play with those skills is pretty vicious sometimes.
Oh, orcas in their natural environment, between flipping sharks upside down to eat them in their sleep and playing catch with seals. Yes, they are monstrosities, but they are beasts. Beasts at their purest. And I definitely think that will be a good place to wrap it up there, so I have time to edit before we get on to our game tonight.
Okay, see you in a bit.
All right. Have a good night, Scott. Thank
All
you
right.
for joining us. Alrighty, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to D&D Journey of the 5th Edition, a member of the Creative Play and Podcast Network. Please follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/CPPN to never miss a show or stream.